Hey gang, it's Jay from JTech and welcome to the HTC 10 First Impressions video. Now I know most people tend to review new devices after they do a First Impressions video, so for me this is going to be a personal opinion / mini review video, and I hope you like that. So the HTC 10 launched a couple of days ago, and so far, from what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing on YouTube and also on many tech blog articles and such, I have seen that the HTC 10 has impressed a lot of people, and so it's time for me to talk about what I like about this device, what I would have loved to see, and definitely what I think of it before I do the full review. First off, I'd love to talk about the design, which looks similar to the HTC A9, which is a highly underrated phone. The HTC 10 has gone with the similar aluminum back with chamfered edges, just like the old HTC One flagships. And at front it looks just something close to the Galaxy S6 / the Galaxy S7, with the physical home button and 2 capacitive keys for multitasking and for going back whenever you're maneuvering across Android on your HTC 10. Personally, I would have loved if HTC stuck with the software keys on Sense UI. I'm not really a huge fan of physical home buttons unless it's on tablet, i.e. the iPad. On the HTC 10, however, it feels a bit at home. Unless you're a Galaxy phone user, it's okay. The HTC 10 makes sure that the fingerprint scanner is going to be the selling point. I would have preferred if it was at the back of the phone, just like on the Nexus phones and on other Huawei flagships. But HTC decided to go for a capacitive and physical home key layout on the obvious thing to mention here is that HTC has finally dropped the logo from the front of the handset, giving you a cleaner finish on the 2.5D glass which adorns the 10. For those of you who like a bit of color, the HTC 10 is available in Topaz Gold, Carbon Gray, Camellia Red, and Glacier Silver. The screen on the HTC 10 has been bumped up to 5.2 inches, and in terms of pixels, it's gone from a Full HD display on the One M9 to a Quad HD display on the HTC 10. That puts it in competition, straight competition with the Galaxy S7, the LG G5, and the 4K Sony Xperia Z5 Premium. While it's not exactly an AMOLED display, the display on the HTC 10 looks very similar to anything you would see on a Galaxy phone or an LG phone. It could be boosted through color saturation, and the brightness on the screen is also pretty on point, and it's good to see that these things are finally coming through on HTC phones. HTC also claimed that the HTC 10 has the world's fastest touchscreen with very low latency, and that means that it's instantly touch and go whenever you press an icon, an app icon, or whenever you interact with the screen while scrolling through a web page or going through your social media. So it's very good to see that HTC is paying a lot of attention to that in their premium flagship phone. Now, I saved the word beast for many things, for gaming consoles, for supercharged PCs, but the HTC 10, seeing the power that this thing has, is pretty beastly. Just listen to the specs. It's got a Snapdragon 820 processor, that's the latest, 4 gigs of RAM, that's much more RAM than my crappy old compact laptop, and get this, it can access SD cards with up to 2 terabytes of capacity. That's just insane. I'm yet to see a 1 terabyte SD card on Amazon. I wonder whether I'm going to see it physically in tech shops in Zambia, but the power of this phone is absolutely staggering. I'm pretty sure it could run any of the latest games and apps. It could run a bunch of apps in the background on the HTC 10, and it's great to see that PC-like specs are now being seen in phones. 4GB RAM phones are becoming a bit more popular with the Galaxy S7, the LG G5, and now with the HTC 10, it's great to see that we're getting such power in the palm of our hands. And it's just, I would love to play great games on the HTC 10. Now obviously, seeing as this is a flagship Android phone, it has to run the latest version of Android, which is Marshmallow 6.0. And topped by HTC's famous Sense UI, it's become much more leaner, much more thinner, and the important thing to notice about Sense is that there are less duplicate apps. I'm gonna let my man MKBHD explain how that works.
Talked about this on previous phones. Samsung in particular, they'll have like 2 apps installed on every phone to do pretty much everything. 2 email apps, 2 texting apps, 2 web browsing apps, 2 of everything. And Google already makes most of their stock apps from Nexus phones available in the Play Store. So what HTC did was essentially remove any duplicate app that they don't need that Google already makes. So the default calculator app on this phone is the Google Calculator. The default calendar is Google Calendar. When you're taking photos with the camera and then you go to view them, the default gallery app is Google Photos. So I think it's awesome that they worked with Google to pull this off. I'm sure carriers will still find a way in the US to mess this up with all their pre-installed bloatware, but I like this step, so bravo HTC.
And it's a good thing to notice that because of this cut down of duplicate apps, there's more space to add for the user. You can add more of your pictures, more of your music files, more of your video documents, and it's good to see that HTC have listened to people who want a much more thinner, much more streamlined version of Android, close to stock Android, but not too stock in terms of the offerings. There's also a new customization feature called Freestyle Layout, which lets you download themes for your home screen, and each theme comes with a set of related stickers. So it's similar to Samsung's customization layout that came on the Galaxy S6. We all know HTC's history with cameras is pretty bleak, and they themselves have admitted that. On the HTC 10, we have seen a much more improved camera, which is 12 megapixels, and that seems to be the go-to size for majority of OEMs. It comes with a front-facing 5 megapixel camera. It's called the Ultra Selfie Camera. And it's the first in the world to support optical image stabilization. So if you're a really huge fan of taking self-portraits, then sure, it's gonna work well for you. I'm not a fan of selfies per se, but if you want to do Skype videos, Hangouts, and just simple Periscope live streams, this camera seems to do the job much better than eyesight cameras, so HTC says. Well, I would love to see a test of that in the future, and maybe when I do a full review. The main thing that separates HTC phones from everyone else on the market is the audio. Boom sound has been a real success story for HTC, and it's kicked things up another notch on the HTC 10. Gone are the dual front-facing speakers along with one forward-pointing tweeter located in the earpiece, while the bass speaker is located at the bottom of the HTC 10. The reason for this is because bass doesn't really need a place to be located, and that is true. For sound, well, to deliver in quality lows and groovy basses, you don't really need a specific. HTC claim that you can get 2 full days from a single charge in their newly packed 3000 mAh battery, which is much larger than the 2840 mAh battery found in the One M9. It sports USB Type-C at the bottom of the phone, and the phone also embraces Quick Charge 3.0 that will see 50% of your battery return in just 30 minutes. I'd love to do a full review of the battery life once the HTC 10 comes to Zambia. Overall, at first glance, I'm not really disappointed with the HTC 10. I would have loved if HTC continued with Sense UI having the traditional Android software keys on screen rather than off, but this means that there's much more space to do a lot of things on your phone. I loved it that the fact that improved the camera, adding a new laser autofocus, and boom sound has become much more high resolution. I would love to check this out in the full review, so stay tuned for that. If you want to see a full review, hit me up in the comments right below the description. So thanks for watching this video. I hope you liked this video. Major shout out to the guys that provided clips in this very mini clip of mine. I leave links to their channels in the description below. Thanks again for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time.